Every year, millions of players suddenly find themselves being pulled back into Minecraft. It's not because of some massive update or some special event. No. Former players of the game all just swarm back every year, completely out of the blue. No coordination, no warning, it just happens, and no one has been able to explain why. We all know how the video game cycle works. You find a new game, you grind it out for a while, and then eventually it gets boring and you move on. That's how it always goes, right? But somehow, Minecraft doesn't follow that cycle. Even when people get bored of the game and quit, they always seem to come back. And perhaps what's even more interesting is that once people return to the game, they almost always quit again after just a few weeks, which eventually led to this phenomenon being given the very fitting name, the 2-week Minecraft phase. So why does this happen? Could it be some form of manipulation? Could it be dark magic? Or could it be something else? When Minecraft officially launched in 2011, it quickly made waves, selling over 4 million copies in just its first year. But if you look back, the game wasn't exactly revolutionary. The graphics were simple, and the mechanics were still being refined. Compared to some of the flashier games of the time, like Modern Warfare 3 and Skyrim, Minecraft seemed pretty basic. After all, it is just a sandbox game. There's no interesting storyline, no insane graphics or visuals, and the game isn't insanely difficult to play or to beat. So why did this seemingly simple game capture so many hearts and minds? And how did it manage to grow in popularity so rapidly? To understand why people keep returning to Minecraft year after year, we first need to explore what made the game so popular to begin with. After digging through countless old discussion threads and forums, I found that most people have two main reasons why they used to find the game fun. First, the simplicity of the game was crucial. Unlike other popular games at the time that are targeted towards slightly older audiences, Minecraft was not only easy to play, but didn't contain any significant age restriction. Whether you were a kid or an adult, the game was interesting. It had universal appeal. It wasn't hard to learn, it wasn't pay to win, and you could spend as much or as little time as you wanted on the game. But the second reason was much more intriguing. People said that they found Minecraft fun because there was no strict one-way style of play. It was very open-ended, giving players complete freedom to do whatever they wanted. Whether you wanted to be an adventurer, a miner, a builder, or a warrior, the game was open to be played however the player wanted. And this was something that people really enjoyed. So then, that begs the question, why does the game seem so boring now? What's changed? And this is where things really start to get weird. As years passed, Mojang and eventually Microsoft made update after update, some of which were loved by the community and others were hated. With each update came an influx of new things to the game, whether it be new blocks, new mobs, or even new biomes. And naturally, you'd think that as the game added more features and gave more freedom to players, that it would become even more popular, right? After all, that was the consensus of the community. A large part of the game's success was due to the fact that it was so open-ended and allowed for practically unlimited creativity. So wouldn't adding more things to the game make it better? Well, not exactly. And to understand why, we have to look at some of the changes and additions that have been made since the Minecraft golden years. Firstly, and most noticeably, is the amount of mobs that are in the game. Back in 2012, Minecraft only had 29 total mobs in it. You have the chicken, the cow, the zombie, the ender dragon, just to name a few. All of which are extremely nostalgic and recognizable to anyone who's ever played the game. But then you fast forward to today, and there are 87 mobs in the game. And that's not to mention all of the new biomes that were added, like the Badlands, the Deep Dark, and the Bamboo Jungle, as well as the insane amount of new blocks that have been added to the game. Now, the point here is, while on the surface you'd think that all of these new elements would help grow the game, that adding a bunch of new stuff would only expand the player's creativity and enhance their experience. But in reality, they feel that all of these new additions have ruined one of the key things that made Minecraft so fun to begin with. Its simplicity. Psychologists call this the paradox of choice, which put simply means that the more options you give someone, the harder it is to be satisfied with making a choice. So, by adding such a massive amount of things to the game, Minecraft has slowly become more and more complex, and therefore harder to enjoy. I know for me, when I logged back into Minecraft for the first time in quite a while to record the footage for this video, I was shocked at how many pointless blocks and random mobs there are now. And that's a big reason why so many people that played the game back in the day don't find it the same anymore. But then there was one more thing that former players consistently brought up, and I personally think that this could be the answer to this massive mystery. You see, many older players have been mentioning that the game isn't the same anymore, or doesn't feel the same anymore, because it's harder to play with friends. Now, back in the day, a large part of Minecraft's magic was that it brought people together, but as we've all gotten older, we've adopted more diverse and complex lifestyles. It's not just a matter of telling your friends to get on after school anymore. We all have very different lives, which makes it much harder to play together. But it's also not just about losing touch with old friends. Many players mentioned that even when they try to make new friends in Minecraft, it just doesn't hit the same. So sure, the number of servers, mods, and communities has grown, but ironically, the game feels more isolating than ever. There's just something extremely lonely about wandering through an empty Minecraft world, listening to Sweden all by yourself. But either way, the fact remains, the game doesn't seem to resonate the same with its older audience anymore. So that brings us right back to the main question. If the game isn't as fun, if it doesn't feel the same, then why do millions of former players come back every single year, knowing that they'll be disappointed, knowing that it's not going to be the same? And this is the debate that's gone on for years, where many ideas and theories have been tossed around among the community. But the most common theory that gets brought up revolves around the word nostalgia, which essentially means that we look back on the past and see it as better than it really was. It's like when you revisit your childhood home, and suddenly everything that happened seems better than you remembered. A lot of people think that Minecraft taps into those same memories for players, bringing them back to simpler and potentially happier times. But when you really think about it, things don't quite add up. Minecraft was and still is a massive game. It's sold hundreds of millions of copies around the world and is a global phenomenon. Clearly, people enjoy playing the game. So, I don't know. Is it just nostalgia? Is it some secret psychological trick? Or even some hidden formula that Notch, the creator of Minecraft, had weaved into the game design to hook people forever? But in the end, debates and theories aside, no one really knows why we keep coming back. And that is the mystery of the 2-week Minecraft phase.